Hi guys, welcome back to my channel again on Sunday 13th of July 2025. Now I want to continue the course that I have postponed for past 2 days. That is object-oriented programming in Matlab, matworks.com. So for that I will start focusation on this clock on these apps. Okay. Now I will focus on this. I think maybe. Hey, wait. 16%. Hmm, I will learn for this stuff only for 1 hour because I'll continue another task, another subject such as reading books or doing math, do math, do the math, do the math, do math, do math. I need to do some math before making decision. Let's do the math. Spend 2 minutes. We have spent we have spent 2 minutes of our time. Why is it taking so long? Hmm, Try again. Huh? Hmm, Okay. From the start. Okay. Oh, enjoy the course. I feel like it's starting from the beginning again. So I backward. I click go back. Hmm. You can add the name of editor type after the property name to specify how the property should be stored, string or specify that the name and label properties should be stored as a string and the waypoint should be stored as a double. String. You can run the script test property into station course. mm, mm. Coercion, not bad as it sounds. Specifying a property type determine how MATLAB will interpret and store values for that property. Well, I haven't even specified a value that doesn't fit that specification. MATLAB will try to coerce the value into the correct form. Banana check character string. Oh, despite its negative meaning in regular English, yeah, in software development, coercion simply means trying to convert data in one form into another form. MATLAB has rule or converting between data type if it knows how to convert a given value into the size and type specified for an input argument, it will. If not, then you will get an error. This conversion is convenient because it means you can allow your user to provide data in any way that makes sense without you having to specify those type or how to convert them into the way you want the variable store. However, this automatic coercion can cause unexpected behavior. For example, a variable must be maybe specified as a string, hmm, but giving a value of 42 doesn't cause an error because it's coerced into the string 42. Similarly, value of 42 into numeric, this behavior may or may not be what you want. If it is, great. If not, you need to understand why it is happening and how to work around it. See the lesson on validating method input for a way to do this. Conversely, text may not always be coerced to how to say this. Coerce, 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 coerce. Converse statement always be converts to numeric in the way you expect. You can test the behavior by calling the appropriate conversion function directly at the command line. String 42 double 42. You can add the dimension after the property name and before and any type specification to specify the expected size of the data used to specify an array of any size in a given dimension. Properties color 1.1 double matrix 3.5 double row vector 1 oh any size in given dimension. In the class definition course to m Specify the name and label property should be scalar and waypoint property should be stored as a column vector in number of rows in one column. You can run the script. Property should be scalar. So how uh, specify the name and the label property should be scalar. Huh? Okay. Uh, in the class definition course.m specify that the name and label properties should be scalars. Does the name property have to be a scalar? Does the label column vector? No, the vector can also be queries. Queries a row can a row, a row can be stored as a column or vice versa. The waypoints are stored as a numeric vector. However, the waypoint numbers only make sense if they are positive integers. You can ensure positive number must be integer. The class definition course.m use the must be positive and must be integer value to specify that the waypoints property must be a vector or must be integer level. Uh, you can run the script as well. Current difficulty level can be any scalar string. You can use the must be member or list function to ensure that the proper values from an approved list because to provide extra input to this function, the list of accepted fails. You have to give the full function call rather than just the function name. Properties of one scalar double must be member of odd 135. Some validation function will fail unless you also specify valid value for the property. In this example, the O property must have a default value of 135. You can specify a default property value by adding the usual syntax for an assignment at the end of the line. Property, you can specify the default property value by adding oh, note that you don't need the semicolon at the end of the line to suppress output. In the class definition file of the course, use the must be member validator to specify the level. Property must be member. R, Y, E, green R valid levels. R any R value for the level rejected. Huh? Why it happened? Um, white, yellow. R white, yellow, green, and red valid level. White, yellow, green, orange, and red. I think that I don't do something wrong. Where you can run the script. R apakah nilai lain ditolak? You find the solution. Hmm. Hmm. In the script, this property spec.mlx try some different permutation of how you might want to allow and not allow your user to specify the properties. Do you get the behavior you want? Mm, mm, mm. Hmm. So it tries. Error stating property of class course value must be positive. Hmm. Hmm? Name label password. Look at yellow. Hmm? Hmm. Waypoint must be positive in pleasure. I use where's for oh, okay. Hmm? Oh, hmm. One boost Hmm? is two-dimension for source. Oh, I want to take a break about 10 minutes because I want to check my phone because there's a schedule that sent by or the second is okay. Why it's changed? Uh, there's it to here. Four. Mm, mm, huh? Promise. Baru sebesar 15, orang usia 2 besar 20, dua tahun orang. Because methods are just functions, you can use any standard MATLAB technique to check the inputs to a method. In particular, you can use an argument block to perform input validation. Input argument validation uses the same syntax as property validation. Properties property name, size, type, check, check1, check2, and default value. And arguments input name, size. You can use an argument block to perform input validation. What's the difference between using function input validation and property validation? Method input validation applies to the input passed to a method before the method does anything else. Property validation is performed anytime the value of a property is set, which include being modified. This definition for the validation object A42 and thing the validation object is an argument block must list all the input arguments of the function, but is with property validation, you can specify as many features of its input as you like, including none. Exported to a number or string. Currently, the course class use property validation to ensure the name and level properties are stored as string and the waypoints property is stored as a numeric vector. However, because of type coerce, 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 coercion, coercion. Production stores string away from property stores a numeric vector. However, because the coercion a numeric value of 42 is compatible to the value string 42 and vice versa, this may or may not be behavior you want is 42 a valid cost name. Does it matter if we find are given a string 42 and 66? These are design decisions the developer need to make. Assuming you want to disallow this behavior, how can you ensure that the course name is only text the weapon are only given as numeric array? Yeah, which is string message or store string publish storage. However, because the type of question and numeric value of 42 is copied to the value in fact which is maximum made behavior one is 42 a valid course name. Doesn't matter if your point are given as string 42. These are the designs and you and learn to make perform input validation, you add an argument block to the beginning of your function. The argument block must list all the name arguments in the function signature. Then use the same validation to specify the feature of the input that you want to validate. Function arg and to argument string. Perform input validation, add an argument block to the beginning of your function. The argument block must list all the name argument in the function signature. Remember that using validation to specify the type will force a conversion into the type if possible. Hence, you can use the approach to enforce an input be of a specified type. Instead, you can use validation functions such as must be text, must be numeric. You can use and the like. In the class definition file course, an argument block to the constructor method course. In the function here. Ah, arguments masuk arguments. Oh, No installment of in this block use the must be text or must text be text color and must be numeric value to specify the first that the first input the name must be the first input name must be text and the third input the waypoints must be numerical. How about the size? Remember that you must list all input in an argument blocks or input name must be string and also the type the one. Remember, must also input in an argument block, regardless of whether you perform any validation on them. We have 20 minutes, 22 minutes still remaining. Remember that untuk semua input dalam block terlepas dari akan melakukan validasi terhadap input tersebut. Semua parameter yang harus dilaksanakan walaupun tidak semua pengecekan atau validasi. Oh. You can run the question showing the RLO initial because the intended behavior will cause invalid input to produce error. You can run the whole script. However, you can evaluate exception independently to check that the valid input produces no error, while invalid input produces the error you expect. Invalid argument at position 1 value must be a character vector string. Wait, huh? The script text course input MLX. See if family fund for is a valid name. How about 42 is supposed to 42. As it now, your user can give a name that happens to be all numerics digits. Only if they explicitly make a string name may be the most reasonable behavior, as it prevents the user from accidentally making such a name, but allows them to do so deliberately. However, if you want to further restrict what text input is acceptable, you can use text processing functions like stars, starts with, contain, and patterns. You can even define your own validation function. With this approach, you could use text function to create a custom must be only text validator. C3 for C1, C2, and right, but how about C3? What's wrong? Uh, must be well organized position 1. Value must be a character vector string array or cell array of character vector. Position 1 negative. Oh, there's our name here. So I will give so from position 3 or how about this must be numeric. So you can convert. Would you? Hmm, recall that both property and improvisation uses the same syntax: name, size, type, check 1, check 2, and default value. Add property validation to the class definition file idstick.m to specify that the properties are stored with the following sizes and types. Serial number is a scalar unit 30 and in U integer 32. Add property validation to the class definition. How do you now do not specify the how the course property is stored. Also input validation also add input validation. Add property validation to the class is a scalar tree or size type or 32 establish a scalar. Scalar string is a scalar string. So this one is scalar string. Mm, times a column factor of the time. Column factor of the time. Column factor of the times. Column factor. Column factor. A column factor. Column. Column. Where space. L. Function IDST constructor must be numeric. To ensure that the input is a valid serial number. You can run the script. You can evaluate the section by using run section button control and enter. How about this? Error using lines for 14. So file must be numeric. But why it's concerns? Pasang juga. Hmm. Hmm. Pirang na nomor must be integer. Also, do the IST have the correct size and type? IST properties. Hmm. Serial number must be numeric and double. Files. Salah. Do the IST properties have the correct size and type? IST properties. Uh, and error. Oh, this. It no, factor of that time. Make sure there's corresponding and you display list of the source functions input is number followed by the list validator. Huh? In the properties block, at size 1.1 for a scalar. Yeah. vector, uh, scalar string, participant is a column vector of that time. Name in the methods block. Add the keyword argument after the function, the personal function. Yeah, make sure there is a corresponding and keyword in this block. List the solve function input followed by the list of validator. Oh, I don't need. Yes lang. Oh, you may have noticed in the script text ID3 input the URLs the display for the ID stick is now not working properly. This is because it tests whether the participant property is empty. However, the participant property is now defined to be a scalar string. Even though no default value is given, the participant property has to be a scalar string, so it becomes this default scalar string when the ID stick object is created. Fix the display method of the ID stick by changing the condition. Fix the display method. Hmm, by changing the condition if is empty, ID participant to ID participant is equal to 0. Is equal to blank. You can run the hmm, an object properties can hold other objects such as the identity course property holding a course object. You can therefore specify any data type, including custom classes, in your property validation. A property validation to the class definition file stick. Property class definition file is to specify that the course property should be the type of course. For now, do not specify as size. Uh, what should be the type of course? Oh, we can find the. I don't remember the type. Hmm. Stop by. What's wrong? The command ID state 1 to 5 will work, but if you try to use display to display the course contained in id.course, you will find id, id you will find the IDs and error. You can find the reason by examining the size of the course object. So the ID stick contains empty 0 by 0 course object. The display method wasn't designed to work with an empty course. This is perfectly reasonable. You shouldn't have an empty course because that doesn't make much sense. An ID stick should only have one course at a time. So rather than trying to fix the display method, the simplest solution would seem to be to specify the size of the course property of an ID stick to be 1.1. Right, what's the problem? By adding this size specification, when you make an ID stick, MATLAB now has to fill in the course property with a false color course object rather than a default empty of 0 by 0. Of course, there's no such default color course which cause the error. You'll see how to fix this in the next lesson. In keeping with the array-based nature of MATLAB, it would make sense to simulate an orienteering event with an vector of course object. Do you need to do anything special to be able to make arrays of your objects? The course and IDST classes in this activity have their display method commented out to make it easier to see the effect of the change to the constructor method. In the script vector, of course, the ML is green and orange. Label course object name challenge label course or name label and waypoint. Store in way 2. Create an orange level course object is now course to be the second element of sheet. Orange and challenge. And so we to setting property level of class value must be a member of this set. In the script vector of course Alex create an orange level course. Hmm. Hmm? Does she have two elements? Is the second element of C correct? You have to use this. Hmm. It works to make an error, of course, by simply adding another element. What happens if you try to assign to a letter element C5? That's the error message. Yeah, I think so. It's the same problem when you specify a course problem. Scala course doesn't know how to construct a default course. Okay, try this. C5. Not enough input argument. Hmm, dulu kan. Okay, I think it's enough for this day. I will continue this subject in tomorrow. Bye bye.